Good morning, folks. It's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation. We are getting into the last week of the month of October, November, December, and then it's 2021. I know that's a date many are looking forward to. But as I said before in the past, we're going to just go day by day to get through this. Happy to be with you guys today. Going to get started in a moment. I want to say I appreciate you all continued support. It is through your continued support that I've been able to go on and continue to achieve in a way that I think can be a positive influence on your lives, whether it's in sport or in life in general, i.e., the title of my book, second book, The SPS Edge, A Guide to Mental Toughness in Sports and Life Post COVID-19. I'll get going in just a moment. Again, I appreciate you guys checking in, whether you're able to see this live or to be able to catch it at another time. That's the beauty of social media. I'll definitely look at making these things available. Well, I'm going to get started. What is the title today? Have some dignity in your misery. Have some dignity in your misery. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Well, the reality is this. The one thing that we cannot escape as human beings in this world is that at some point in time we will have some misery. Don't worry, Michelle, I just got started talking about having some dignity in your misery. Just said a few words before that, but I appreciate you being here. My human alarm clock, always on time, Michelle Mimi Watkins. I appreciate you. And the topic today, Michelle, is to have some dignity in your misery. As I just stated, as humans, we cannot live this life without having some misery. Let's be exact in what misery is. Misery is defined as a state or feeling of great distress or discomfort of mind or body. Oh my goodness, mind or body. That means that could be physical misery because you're going through something. Maybe you've started a new workout plan and you got to get up and go and get it in. Maybe you started a new diet and your taste buds are still wanting all those great things you had prior to your diet. Or the physical discomfort of what our body goes through, what we may be experiencing. You could be responding to something bad that happened, like a car crash. I remember when I was in a car crash several years ago. Fortunately, I walked away from it, but I had some physical misery going on. I had some physical discomfort. But that is a part of life. We know that. It's not the part of life we want to embrace. It's not the part of life that we want to talk about all the time because, we want to focus on the positive. So interesting, I heard a reporter recently say she loves interviewing teams after a win. Yeah, because everyone's happy. Everyone wants to talk. Everybody wants to share. But after a loss, that's a different story. And what do I mean when I say dignity? A word that's probably used a lot, but do we really look at the real definition, Michelle? Dignity is a state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. For example, a man of dignity and unbending principles. Had a good friend just tell me recently that their experience with me over the years has been uh, attempting to be above reproach, meaning can you be honorable in what you do? So what am I getting at here? As you guys know, when I have a Monday motivation topic, it normally is drawn from the headlines, from the things I'm experiencing. I must say that I had this topic in mind prior to the weekend. And as you guys may know, on Saturday I was at Michigan State University, Spartan Stadium, for their season opener. It's the new start of Coach Mel Tucker's time here at Michigan State. And unfortunately, they lost to Rutgers in a way that people were not happy with. Rutgers last season was known for being the doormat, if you will, of the Big Ten. I remember when I traveled to Piscataway, New Jersey, to watch Michigan State play Rutgers last season. It just wasn't a team that you really had to be concerned with. In many cases, it's a team you can almost mark a win. Well, it's a new day. Just as Michigan State has a new coach, so does Rutgers. Same type of pedigree. Coach at the highest level, the NFL, referring to both coaches, and they brought something to bear. Now, I'm not here first and foremost to be an apologist for Coach Mel Tucker, although I will say I do have a bias. I am a fan of Coach Mel Tucker, and I want to see him succeed for a number of reasons because of my affiliation with Michigan State, but also for him as an African American coach coming into Michigan State. Let's be clear. However, having some journalistic integrity, Kane in the building. Kane, good to see you this morning. Having some journalistic integrity, you cover the game and see what you want. I had no idea that Coach Mel Tucker would display the qualities that I'm trying to get across today. After that game was over, and in the press conference, Coach Mel Tucker, in my humble opinion, displayed dignity and grace under fire. His comments were not to throw anyone under the bus, whether it was the offense or the defense. He took accountability and he showed dignity in his misery. Now, can you do that? Can you be in a situation where you're struggling, where you're having a hard time, and like I gave you the definition of misery is having some kind of physical discomfort of the body or discomfort of the mind? Can you be going through some misery but still show some dignity? Can you keep your head up like your nose bleed, as the rappers say? Can you be able to say, despite this challenge I'm experiencing, I will look back on it and be proud of how I carried myself. I will keep my head up. See, the reality is, as much as we want to celebrate the wins in life, wins don't come without losses. And in most cases, your winning percentage is a lot less than your losing percentage, meaning we lose to win. I mean, we have to have discomfort to get to that place of having peace. How will we know what success is if we haven't lost? How will we know what greatness is if we haven't failed? So I'm telling you that when you're going through something, whether it's today or something that was yesterday, or God forbid, what's going to come tomorrow, have some dignity in your misery. When you're going through a challenge and it's hard and you don't even want to experience anymore, take a step back and reflect and say, you know what? My faith has taught me that this will come to pass, that this will not be the end story. So why don't I, during this moment, during this tough time, have some dignity in my misery, meaning hold my head up. Think about having some honor, having some respect. It could be as simply as losing a game. I remember watching some information about Dr. J, Julius Erving. They talked about how he came from the ABA to the NBA, and he just took the league by storm. And so many times the Philadelphia 76ers were competing for a world championship. They were always in the NBA Finals, only to win one. But my point being is that one time they lost to a team, I want to say it was the LA Lakers, and Dr. J, being, the man that he is, he told his team, we're going to go in the locker room and congratulate the team that beat us. He had some dignity in his misery. See, T-Cage is up in the morning, getting it going. My guy, always making moves, got good people checking in on his feed. T-Cage, we're talking about having some dignity in your misery. Yeah, we go through tough times, man, but you want to keep your head up because you want to reflect back on those times and say, look what I did and how I made it through. Years ago, I remember saying, you're going to make it through, so you might as well put yourself in a position that when you look back on what you went through, you can look back and say, I'm so glad that I had some dignity. I'm so glad I kept my head up because I did make it through it. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to look back on the scenario and have regrets that when you were in a tough spot, when you were having some horrible things happen to you, that you had your head down. You didn't conduct yourself in the way you want. You did things you could not do. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Talk about it, TKs, that's right. So one thing we got to understand that in your toughest time is not your last time. And your toughest time is not your only time. And your toughest time is not the time that's going to tell your story. But what will tell your story is how you react, how you respond. It's all about what do you do when things happen to you. And I'm saying it's important to keep your head up, both physically and mentally. It's important to say, you know what? Despite this not being the way I want it to be, I'm going to continue to work hard and press on. And again, like I said, Coach Mel Tucker in his first press conference after that devastating loss, opening to Rutgers, he had dignity in his misery. And I respect that. And I think that's going to go a long way for the Michigan State program in this phase of rebuilding and doing something new. And I know the Michigan State faithful are really upset and they want the best. What do you say, Michelle? It's a learning season. That's right. I like that, Michelle. It's a learning season. When you're going through something you're not happy with, say, you know what? This got my attention. And I'm glad you brought that up, Michelle, because when we go through something that we may not like, the first thing we want to do is get past that moment. We want to forget everything that happened. But what it forces you to do is make decisions. It forces you to be strategic. It forces you to think about, what do I need to do to get through this? Because when we're winning, hey, all issues are forgotten about. When we're winning, oh, we don't care. When we're winning, the person you had an issue with, had a beef with, y'all can slap high fives and be friends. Winning does that. But unfortunately, we don't win all the time. And like I said, in most cases, we probably lose more than we win. But that doesn't mean you're not successful. That doesn't mean you won't be able to achieve your goals. I want to wish you all the best on this Monday Motivation. I want you guys to go out and recognize that if today is a tough day for you, if you're going through something, keep your head up. Keep your head up like your nose bleed and keep it moving. Have some dignity in your misery. Don't let your misery allow you to be mean to people. Don't let your misery allow you to be nasty. Don't let your misery allow you to become a toxic person. Because what that also is doing is saying that I'm committed to staying in this state of mind. But if you have an idea that this won't last long, I'm going to get through this. I want to have some dignity. So when I look back on this moment, I can be proud of how I conducted myself. And I can say I learned something. I can help someone. So we passed the 10-minute mark. I don't want to keep you guys long. I just want you guys going to have a great day. Have a great week. Have some great things I'll be announcing. This Saturday, I'll be at the House of Souls in Okemos, Michigan, the premier sneaker consignment store. Shout out to Lonnie and Lenny. I'll be talking to those young men later on. They'll be on the SPS podcast really soon. They're doing some great things, and it's born out of a great situation. Can't wait to talk to you more about that. But on Saturday, SPS will be in the building at the House of Souls for an MSU Michigan watch party. That's right. They'll be in Ann Arbor playing. Unfortunately, with the coronavirus, I won't be traveling with the team this season, but we'll be able there to watch it. There'll be some great opportunities at the House of Souls. Shout out to Nadia, shout out to Lonnie, shout out to Lenny, shout out to all the things they're doing over there, and bringing SPS in to bring you some good stuff. And there are going to be some more announcements to go. So with that, I want you guys to go and have a great day. I hope this can be something that can be positive, that can be helpful. And during your misery, have some dignity, because at the end of the day, that won't be the end of your story, but only a part. And as Michelle says, a learning season for you. And I appreciate you, Thomas Cage. Tough times don't last, tough people do. So with that, Lindsay House on SPS, I'm out. Have a great day, have a great week, and many blessings to you. Peace.